UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of We Talk Too Much. I am Mike Boroff.
I'm Richard Catterjohn.
Rich, good to see you. I didn't get to see you last week.
No, I was down at Gem City Comic Con. It turned out really good. It was real fun seeing everybody. Got to go around and talk to everybody. I think I missed a few people because I actually didn't go back down on Sunday like I originally was going to do. So, But it was really cool to see everybody and stuff. It was good to have a live comic book convention.
Yeah. It broke my heart that I didn't get to go this year. If you watch, for anyone listening and watching the show, the last show that we did with our really good friend Rodney, I had a little bit of an accident weeks previous, and it kind of messed me up a little bit. But as you can see, and probably hear a little bit of the lisp, I got the situation taken care of. So bear with me, people. These are only about a week old, and I'm still getting used to them. But unfortunately, my surgery fell that same week as Gem City. So for like the first time in almost 10 years, I wasn't able to go down. I just, anyone who's ever had any kind of dental surgery knows, stay home, sit down, sip your soup, and, watch TV. But I was really glad to hear that the show turned out very well.
And as I told everybody, be careful. Pickleball tournaments are dangerous. So
I'm telling you, that's what happens when nerds get into sports. This is what happens when a nerd tries to play sports. For those of you listening, it wasn't pretty. But yeah, luckily, we've got a lot of friends that took a lot of pictures, so I got to vicariously live through them. And I got to see all the cosplays, and I got to see our friends like Gary Church and Sean Forney and Rodney,
And we had the release of our Tales from the Field #8.
Yes, Richard, please tell me more about it. I haven't got a chance to talk to you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, the cover is done by Jay Fike. It's from Twilight Star Studios. There's several different stories. It's an anthology that they produce. There's Kevin A. Let's see. The first one is Razor Dolls by stories by Stacey Gaston. Then there's a Kevin Aiken story, Fistos, and then Escape, which is my original concept. And it was done by Stacey Gaston, Gary Church Inc., Frank Reiner writing, and I lettered it. So it's crazy. First 7 pages I've ever lettered. So it turned out okay. I went over really good. And like I said, the cover art was by Jay Fike. So if you get a chance to see any of the Twilight Star studio people anywhere, pick up a copy. It's pretty cool. So
and you were telling me earlier, Richard, there's one place that we can guarantee they're going to be able to pick it up, and not only pick it up, but pick it up from you.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a table at Space. I technically have not registered yet, but Bob told me that there's some tables left, so I'm going to get registered. So
oh, that's awesome. Yeah, to everyone listening and watching that was down at Gem City, it really did break my heart to not go down there. It was just weird because it was like, 2020 sucks, and then 2021, it's getting better, and like, we're gonna have Gem City, and I'm like, nothing's gonna stop me. Sports, bow. Yeah. It was just like one of those monkey tail things where you know how you make a wish, but you're not specific enough about it, and it ends up biting you in the ass. That's pretty much what happened. But I'm glad to hear that you got to go down. I'm glad to hear that there was a really good turnout. It's great to hear that cons are back. I'm seeing on Facebook and Instagram more and more shows are opening up right now.
Yeah, I think there's a big one in Raleigh this weekend too, because one of my old work friends, he's at that show today. I saw some pictures from cosplayers and stuff there, so it's popping up everywhere. So
It was so good to hear. But there was one perk to me being completely laid up last week was as I got a lot of shows caught up. There was quite a bit of picking and choosing, but we had a lot of shows to pick from, and oh hell with it, Richard. Let's just get the bad out of the gate, man. Let's talk about that. God damn it. Let's talk about that Flash season finale. Jesus, man. Look, now for anybody that's new to the show, please, Richard will send you a link. Go back to the archives. We love this show. We used to. But man,
this season was rough.
rough. And I mean, it was wow. And you know what? The weird thing is for everybody making such a big deal. And I mean, I'm sad to see him go, but for everybody making such a big deal about Cisco and Tom Cavanaugh leaving, it's kind of like I'm not saying I'm disappointed, but it's just like, when are they leaving? Because they keep showing up in every goddamn episode. Which wasn't a bad thing, you know.
Yeah, I think it's the season finale is the last episode with all of them in it. So
yeah. And this is a pun intended, but the way they brought Tom Cavanaugh back was literally jumping the shark. There had to have been 100 different ways. Oh my God. You know, you take a character that looks and has the potential to be kick-ass like Godspeed, and it's like, okay, here's Godspeed. Here's 100 Godspeeds. That won't be annoying. Oh, let's have them fight each. Oh my God, it was just.
So how did they make these clones?
I no idea.
They never did explain that. Is it like a vibration alteration?
And speaking of vibration, don't get me started on that. I hate it. We're talking like mid 80s level bad special effects. Like they didn't even do any cool hand thing. There was like nothing. It's just like this vortex just like emanated from the middle of their chest. Not even the emblem. Not even the emblem. It was just out of their chest, and that was enough to suck up. Oh,
heck, penis lightning bolt was better special effects.
Oh my God, yes. And I do have to admit, I was a little skeptical about Bart at first, just because Bart Allen was one of my favorite characters, especially from Young Justice. I loved Bart. I loved him being the grandson of the Allens, but I was a little skeptical. But I will say that I will give them credit. I did like the way they approached Nora, explaining that she was from I don't want to say divergent because I don't want to tap into another show, but she was from a different timeline than the Nora we'd seen previously. I appreciated that. I liked that they didn't dwell on it and make it like a 2-hour thing. It was quick and to the point, and they moved on. I did appreciate that.
But it still was kind of confusing with the way they were approaching it, especially because he started with that dream. Remember, he dreamt of the old Nora, then all of a sudden, boom, then the new Nora pops up, and then the impulse and everything. So it was kind of different,
Yeah.
And actually, I actually had good intentions when that first episode started with that whole storyline. I go, oh, are we actually going to get some good storyline here? And then, like you said, and all of a sudden, all those divergence of the everything was happening, and I don't know, it just this whole season was just so muddled.
Yeah, and I mean, The other thing to complain the complaint about is we had so many questions about the woman that took over as commissioner or chief of the GCPD or the stars, whatever town Barry's in now.
The police force.
Police force. That had so much potential. That had great potential. And they did what they're really bad about doing is like, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna make her metahuman too.
And she hated metahumans.
Yeah.
They could dwell on that, but they're not going with it.
No, you're absolutely right. They're not going to go anywhere with it. But I mean, the interaction between her and Joe, getting to the bottom of everything, that had potential, but they squandered it. And again, Richard, we have absolutely no answer to the question that you've been asking me for the past 5-6 weeks. Where's the baby?
I think it was written off with Crisis. I think they just decided to write it off with Crisis.
I think so too, because I mean they're not even giving us a crumb of like, oh, shh, everybody quiet, she's upstairs sleeping. No.
Nope. And they had the wedding, and what did he bring to the wedding?
Yes. If they would have showed her holding the baby, that would have been fine. Nothing. You're telling me no.
Yeah, I think it got written. I think the whole storyline got rewrote with Crisis, because I think that's what they did. Even though I think that happened after Crisis, didn't it?
It might have.
Who knows? The CWs are all messed up.
Even the wedding, God. You know what? Here's something I've noticed, Richard, that's really bothered me. And I've noticed that a lot of other people feel the same way. It's not just us. This season has not gone over well with the fans, like at all. Have you noticed? It doesn't seem like the actors that Barry and that Grant and Ira, they don't have the chemistry they used to.
No, I think the one that plays Iris, I think she wants out of her contract. I've been reading some stuff.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where you go back and you watch the first couple seasons, the actors, they had legitimate chemistry. But now it's just like you said, it's like she knows she's on her way out. She's probably, I'm not saying she's there against her will, but it's become a job for her.
Yeah, she's just calling it in,
Yes, exactly. I just don't have the Iris, you're my lightning rod. I love you so much that you will pull me back from anything. It's not there anymore.
And then she gets her speed force powers again. Everybody has speed force powers. It's like everybody who knows Barry has speed force powers.
Yeah. It's like everybody but Barry. God. And speaking of speed force powers, the entire episode reminded me of the commercial. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Dude, I'm just going to come out and say it. Effing lightsabers?
Oh.
No. No. You know what it was, Richard? I get the feeling that one of the hackneyed special effects artists found in action is like, oh shit, what's this button do? Oh man. Oh guys, come here, look. I can make a stationary lightning bolt that looks like a lightsaber. Oh, we'll never fit that in. Watch me. What the shit, man. I mean,
at least there's a lot of rumors that this might be the last season coming up. So
oh, I hate to say it, but pull that plug. I mean, at least Bart's throwing stars.
No.
Those were kind of cool, but you know what it's almost like, Richard? It's almost like the writers kept saying to themselves, everybody has been clamoring and dying for Green Lantern. I have an idea. Let's just make lightning constructs. That'll tide the Green Lantern people over. Look, throwing stars. Look, a sword. Look, a Toyota Mitsubishi. Whatever. It was just, oh, God.
At least they started production on Green Lantern, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. At least that'll be on HBO Max. So hopefully they'll have some money behind it.
Oh, God. But yeah, it was just terrible. And I mean, like the one scene that showed all of them standing there together, even that, my first thought is, oh, look, it's the Power Rangers.
Well, even the clones look like those
Putties.
Yeah, that's what they look like to me. I'm going, what are we watching? Power Rangers? Are these like the leftover guys from Power Rangers?
Yep. Yeah, it was bad. Oh my God.
And I used to like the first season of Power Rangers, you know.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. Oh God, yes.
So I don't want to say that's exactly an insult, but at the same time, I think Fleisch insulted the Power Rangers.
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
But
you know
at
what?
least,
No, go ahead, Richard.
No, I was just going to say, at least we got that new Stargirl trailer, so at least we'll have some good CW coming soon.
Dude, I just want to make one prediction, Richard, because since the Flash obviously doesn't give a shit anymore, I'm waiting for them to either pull a Voltron or more like a Captain Planet and be like, with our lightning powers combined, like, oh my God, it's Mega Ultra Flash.
That's the Rick and Morty episode. That's the Rick and Morty episode.
I know. Yeah.
Sorry. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah. But you're absolutely right, Richard, man. That Stargirl preview looked like a godsend when it comes to the CW. It looks so good.
And then we're going to get the Superman Lois wrap up coming up too. So.
Oh, real quick, I don't think we talked about the not the last episode, but the last the last episode of Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
Holy shit, loved it. Again.
Yeah.
Dude, there was one moment, Richard, that tickled me so much I had to rewind it like 3 times. But it was when Superman and John Henry Irons are fighting the evil Kryptonian lady. I don't know what it was that I loved so much, but it was when they just knocked her on her ass and they did the classic no look, low bones fist bump. I don't know what it was, but that moment reminded me so much of the chemistry between Ollie and Diggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they didn't, you know what I mean? They didn't even look. It was a classic no look. We're on the same wavelength. Low bones fist bump. I loved it so much seeing the two of them together. That was so good. And again, another thing that makes Superman and Lois such a good show is it doesn't always rely on Superman to make the show good. That side story with the Lang family, or Lana and the husband,
right?
The blowback from everything that happened in the town blaming. Oh my God, that was so good.
And that's probably what really would happen even in our real world. You know,
yes.
If someone brings in something bad to a community, you know, that community reacts, you know.
They needed a scapegoat and they had it, even though it was completely unjustified. Like the husband said, like, you were there with me. You were there fighting for this with me.
Yeah. You know, that's like all little small towns these days, you know. So, you know, at least they thought they had something that would work, and then it didn't work, so it falls apart. So someone has, like you said, someone has to take the blame for it. So they did, you know. Yeah.
And honestly, for the first time in that show, I love the dad. He's well acted, but honestly, this is the first time in the show that I really sympathized with him. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like I really legitimately sympathize with him. Like, oh man,
Yeah, because they've been playing him off sort of as the oh, you know,
the drunk no good husband.
yeah, yeah, and it kind of changed, and then all of a sudden the storyline went in this direction, which was pretty neat to see.
Yeah, we got to see some really good character development from him.
And of course the kids in the shows too, with all their relationships and stuff, and all the
Yeah.
changes and everything. So it's a well-rounded series and probably one of the gems right now in the CW.
Oh yeah.
The old Arrowverse, if they still call it that.
I rank it up there. I separate it from the CW verse. I think it is just a very well written, well rounded show to begin with. The acting is just phenomenal. We got good storyline with Lois and the woman that runs the local newspaper.
Right.
Lois was put in this really difficult spot. She has to protect her family. She has to protect her dad. But at the same time, we got to see the classic Lois where it was like, I got to tell the truth. She's a reporter, to her core.
And then see, what else there was something else about that I was going to talk about.
Sam Lang, we
Yeah.
got to see some good character development from him. It was great that he saw the error of his ways, and we got to see that was oh my God, that was classic. I loved seeing Clark and Lois argue because that was a marriage. That was a marriage right there. The two of them, granted, it was superhuman, a superhuman based argument, but that was still a very, it's not always sunny in Smallville. She really put her foot down. She didn't like the idea of Clark wanting a way to put himself down. And we got a real legit marital fight, but it was still, it was like, I'm not talking to you, but be careful, It was very humanizing to see the two of them have that fight. And I really appreciated that.
And we're going to talk. Supergirl will be back, and it's going to wrap up. So we get that series out of the way.
Yeah.
With all the stuff, I don't know. It's probably good that they are wrapping some of these CW stuff up from the old.
Yeah.
And then of course, we're going to have Titans over on HBO Max. So.
Oh my God, the preview for that looks amazing.
I think they're going the right direction with that series. I hope they will get a fourth. They were talk that this might have been the last season for that, but I hope if it does good on HBO Max that they will have a fourth.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff with Jason Todd and the Joker.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but we all know how this is going to play out.
Give me a crowbar.
They showed it. Holy,
I know.
Man. Wow. Man. We got to see Connor. We got to see Hawk and Dove. It does. I am really excited for the next season of Titans. It just looks like it's going to be amazing.
See, that rolls out the following week, right? I think it's like the 12th or something like that.
I think so.
Or I don't know. I was trying to look it up earlier and I couldn't find it fast enough, so I still don't see when that one's coming out. I just know Stargirl's the 10th.
I am ridiculously excited for Stargirl. That first season was perfect. That was a good from beginning to end, well-rounded show. I like that one of the
shout out to Gary Church.
Oh, hey Gary. One of the things I liked that they did is when they were releasing production stills, is they showed everybody, not like side by side, but like from first season to this season, you know, just to show how everyone's changed a little bit. But I like the idea, the concept of this season, you know, where Courtney is like gung ho to be Stargirl, and like that's it. That's all she wants to do is be Stargirl, and like everyone else in her life is like, time out. You need a well balanced life, and that's a great idea. That's a great concept. That's a great motivation for this season.
Yeah, I can't wait till we see what happens, especially we get to see Green Lantern's daughter too, so that'll be pretty cool.
Now, I want to ask you, Richard. I would probably know if I bothered to look it up, but have they said her name yet?
No, I haven't seen it in the trailers, but like in the comic book verse, he actually had a daughter and a son, which was
Jade and yeah. So I'm wondering, you know, if they're going to drop the name Jade. You know.
I hope, you know, it makes sense. So.
Yeah. And we got to see what looks like will possibly be the big bad in this season. We talked about him the last time, man. Richard E. freaking Grant, dude. Dude, how awesome is he right now? Because I know I mentioned it before, and I keep harping on it, but if you ever get a chance to anybody listening and watching this, man, IMDb him, man. He has been in some fantastic stuff. I go back, man. Josie and the Pussycats. I unabashedly love that movie. I will defend Josie and the Pussycats. He was great in it. Another classically bad movie that he was fantastic in. You want to talk about an over-the-top performance? Look up Hudson Hawk.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. No, that one has so fallen under the radar. Like, I've mentioned it to people. It's like, I love Bruce Willis. So what do you think of Hudson Hawk? What? No. You people need to go back and watch Hudson Hawk. He was phenomenal in that movie. But, I mean, even here recently, you know, he was classic Loki side by side with Owen Wilson. Then he turns right around and he's going to be in DC as a baddie with Luke. I mean, dude, I want to talk to his agent how they were able to secure those contracts.
And good news. I just looked up Stargirl cast for season 2.
Yeah,
she's playing Jade.
Yes. Oh, I love it. God, I love that show.
And don't let me try to pronounce her last name. The actress.
Yeah.
It starts with a P. It's Penarejo.
Yep.
Yes.
That is it. Oh, man. Oh, something else top of my head, Richard, that I haven't got a chance to talk to you about. The Ghostbusters trailer.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm full on board. I'm full 100% on board. I love the direction that show is going. I love, man, that trailer knocked me on my ass, man. When I mean everything about it. You know, we've gotten enough snippets that, you know, we had a basic idea, you know, it's like there's this farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere. It was Egon's. Egon had a family. But to see Annie Potts show, oh my God, that was what I was floored. Well, you know, your father wasn't very handy. Oh my God, she did the voice too, but she toned Janine down a little bit, but it was like unmistakably Janine Melnett. I was like, oh, you know, your father wasn't too handy. I was like, oh, my heart. I loved it. I adored that trailer from top to bottom. People are already picking it apart, not in a bad way, but like, oh, look at this, look at this. The two things that really got me excited was seeing Ecto, which I really do hope they explain why it kind of reverted back to Ecto 1 from the first movie and not Ecto 1A from Ghostbusters 2, you know, with the lights and the, you know, more of the stuff on top.
Right.
But dude, seeing the kids behind the wheel, seeing the granddaughter, in the gunner's chair, I was so geeked for that because I'm such a nerd that I would go and get it. I think I showed it before. Is I have the Lego set of the Ectomobile. That is a recreation of the current
Oh,
that you'll see in the movie.
I got that confused. That's the one that plays Jade was the daughter of the original villain from the first season.
Oh, yeah, the psycho killer girl.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. I looked up too fast. Sorry, I had to retract myself.
But the other thing that I really loved was it was such a neat thing for me to see it in action for the first time. But one of the things I really liked about my Lego set is it actually does have the little drop off in the back of Ecto with the remote controlled trap. I'm sorry, I think that's genius. I absolutely love the idea of there being a remote controlled ghost trap. That's I love that. I love the granddaughter's reaction to the grandson's like, of all the cars out here, you're fixing the station wagon. I'm like, at first I'm like, how dare you? But I'm like, I'll let it slide. And he's like, it's the only one that ran.
Because they had the only one with the engine. Yeah.
But I love that they're showing clips of the grandkids actually doing more research about their grandfather. They showed the old clips of like the commercial and newspaper articles. I mean, how would you feel if you found out that your grandpa was saved the world twice? And I think
and the call, they called that 800 number, the Ghostbuster number. Yeah. That was a perfect way to leave that trailer hanging.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert, man. To have it Ray, and I love the way everything that the cinematography behind it, the counter, the phone, occult bookstore, neon sign in the background, and just hearing him say we're closed. Oh. The one thing that they're getting backlash about, not the movie per se, but we've made this complaint before, Richard, 100 times. Wait until the movie comes out to put out your goddamn action figures. Quit ruining shit. Because already
that whole market screwed up because of COVID. With
that's
everything
true.
getting pushed back, I mean, they probably had these toys made last year.
This is true. But the one that really cheesed people off is I love seeing the pictures of the figures for the kids. I'm already like, take my money. But they showed Winston, Peter, and Ray currently, the gray hair, Now, I've used this argument before, though. That's not necessarily an indication we're going to see that in the movie. That could just be fan service.
Yeah.
That legitimate could be fan service. It worked. I want old Ray. I want old Peter. I want old Winston. I'm going to buy those figures. Will I buy them if it's not in the movie? You goddamn right I will. But it's neat, and I love this, Richard, because I grew up when those movies first came out, and I got all the toys. I had the plastic, the blue plastic proton pack. I had the light, the flashlight that projected ghosts. A lot of the toys I'm seeing now are geared toward that market again, the kids, which it rightly should be. The one I was really excited about was I saw that they're actually going to have a slimmed down version of the remote control trap. I just think that is brilliant. They the proton pack and stuff like that. I did that preview just made me happy the whole way around. And did you notice what was chasing Paul Rudd out of the Walmart, Richard? That was a goddamn terror dog.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was a
Yeah,
goddamn
yeah.
terror dog. Which is another thing people are pissed off about because quote unquote spoilers, but the line of figures is going to be like a build a figure, which goddamn, I want to beat somebody's ass for coming up with that idea because at least with the Ghostbusters, I know I'm going to get all these. I hate Marvel for doing it because Marvel always releases a line of figures where you really want 3 out of 5 of them. You know what I mean, Richard? Like these
Yeah.
3 are kick ass, and like these 2 are like, hey, look, it's D-Man. Like, what the fuck? I don't want to buy D-Man to get Thanos' chest, but
Right.
the Build-A-Figure looked like what they're already calling the Terror Sentinel, but it was like a terror dog, but like on its hind. I don't want to say hind legs, like but
Right.
and there's already speculation that it's going to be a Gozer the Gozerian type baddie in this one.
Right.
All I know is we have an official release date for it. It's going to be November. I'm going to be there day one. I loved everything about that trailer. To me, that trailer was what a movie trailer should be. I'm excited for it. I looked forward to that trailer dropping, and I was there, Richard, the morning I woke up. I didn't even bother with the phone. I'm like, I know it'll be on YouTube. I need to see it on the big screen. And man, I watched it a half a dozen times, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, the official release date is November the 11th.
Yep.
So we get an early Thanksgiving treat.
Yeah, and I'm very thankful for that.
And then we got the Shane Chi trailer, the new one of that.
Yes. And I really like the way they're doing it too. I like the way that they're reminding people that might have forgotten and acknowledging the 10 rings.
Right. That little featurette really sparked a lot of interest in that. And
Yeah.
that's what I in a way, I'm still kind of pissed at Disney for what they're doing with Scarlett Johansson, but
yeah, I read all about that. Yeah, we won't go into the legalities of it.
Yeah, I want to still support Marvel because we get What If coming up, so that's on Disney Plus like next week, right?
Yeah. But like I said, I don't know all the ins and outs of like the contract and everything. But I mean, they couldn't have been too surprised. Look, the last half dozen movies, especially because of quarantine, that they've released have been same day Disney Plus, exclusives or premiums. Premiums is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. What If will be out August 11th? It's the following week. I'm rushing all this stuff. I think the Olympics end this week, so that's why everything's been pushed back another week because everything goes on like Olympic hiatus because they can't compete with the Olympics.
God, yeah. But yeah, What If, and they're going full bore with What If too because I've already had so many of our friends, Richard, everybody who knows me knows I love Lego. I am not ashamed of it. They're releasing, I don't know how I'm going to do it, Richard. I hate buying those individual blind packs. But the next line of Lego minifigs that you'll be able to buy individually in like the blind mystery packs is going to be like Loki, Sylvie, but like one of the big collectors is going to be of the What If series.
Oh wow!
We're going to get a zombie Cap Lego minifig, a Captain Carter minifig. I'm super excited for those.
Yeah, and that just goes into we got to see that official still from Hawkeye come out this week. So
yeah,
it looks like Marvel's really pushing to get us all excited about what's coming up in the next few months.
Yeah, rightly so because especially with Hawkeye, that was one of the things that was like the selling point for Disney Plus. It was like one of the first things that they announced, and they were Well, I mean, they did it right. You know, they didn't just release. It's going in order, but it was one of those things. I hate to say it, but it was like Black Widow with everything being in a blackout. It's just like, shit, I forgot about that.
Oh,
I forgot about that. You know, we made that joke, Richard. Like, man, Richard, did I imagine the Black Widow movie being made? You know, and then like a week later, like, no, here it is. You know,
yeah.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it because I've seen quite a few production pictures. You know, I've seen Haley in the Kate Bishop suit. They're nailing the suits, man. I will give Marvel this. Holy balls. Sam Wilson's Captain America / Falcon suit was dead nuts. Ms. Marvel, they got dead nuts. Kate Bishop, they have her in the purple, looked amazing. We got to see Clint, the two of them together. The one thing that I was super excited about, Richard, the production picture still I saw was Kate, Clint, and the dog Lucky. Which,
Oh,
if you're a huge fan of Hawkeye like I am, we found a word that's going to be hard for me, Richard. Matt Fraction run. Lucky was a huge role in that comic book, man. Like, I have the action figure of Hawkeye, which is a great figure, but I bought it for Lucky. I bought it for the dog, and you know, everybody's worried about, you know, like, oh, they're going to cast this person. Will they look? I was more like, when I heard Lucky was going to be on the show, I was like, they better cast that dog right, or I'm going to be upset. And I'm telling you, yeah.
well, we'll know for sure starting Wednesday, November the 24th. That's the official release. So.
Yep. And knowing what we know about from the end of Black Widow it's just like added fuel to the fire to be excited for Hawkeye. And like I was excited before, but man, where is this going to go? You know, is Ilanya going to be, you know, like a pivotal role in the show? You know,
There was even talks of Ronin, you know, another person playing Ronin too.
Yeah.
So when does this take place? You know, we'll just have to wait and see, right?
Yeah, because that's the one thing we still don't know is when this show is set. You know, it could be before Endgame, you know, could be in that in-between point, you know, because I made that not rumor. I don't have that kind of pull. But that was my one theory is the show might revolve around him handing down the mantle of Hawkeye to Kate because he knows he's going to go in the Ronin direction, you know. But we have no idea now when it's going to take place.
Yeah, because we really, you know, the official release and even the behind stuff doesn't even really give you too much clues when it does take place.
No,
Yeah, this is a weird week for us doing a show because they're, you know, it's like projection, what's going to happen in Marvel, what's going to happen here and there. But we did get to see something last week totally appear on Netflix, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we did. Oh, man. And it was one of those things, Richard, where it was like the opposite of the Marvel shows where it's just like we heard about it so long ago that we almost forgot about it. But this one, it was like we heard about it and then it was right there.
Yeah.
We are, of course, talking about Kevin Smith's run for He-Man. I'm going to say the R word wrong, Richard. You're going to have to help me with it. He-Man.
I don't even know what it's called. Let me look.
Was it Resurrection or it was?
I think that's what it was. Yeah. Sure. I'll just pull up Netflix.
But no, He-Man Masters of the Universe, written and helmed by Kevin Smith, dropped this last week, and I enjoyed it very much. A lot of divisiveness amongst that show, man. Like, there's a certain fan base that was just like, did not like it.
Yeah, well, they didn't like the direction. You killed He-Man the very first episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Spoiler alert, but
Oh yeah, spoiler alert. Sorry, fans.
I I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Um the animation was really good. I really liked the style. I really liked that we got to see classic characters um that we all know and love. They weren't tweaked too much.
Right.
They still had the classic look to. I think they purposely went for the classic look to them, but updated enough to be relevant. Tila looked awesome. Man at Arms looked awesome. I thought, and I can't believe Orko was really good. I really liked what they did. I really liked what they did with Orko.
Yeah, it was like that future. Like I said, this is Revelation is the name.
Revelation,
of the
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed the direction they went with this in a way, because it gave us a whole new look of what might have happened to He-Man after the series,
Yeah. I love the homage to the other the previous how do I put the previous incarnations of He-Man,
Right.
like Hero, and that was all. I thought that was a nice touch.
And you said the animation was nice and clean. It was good, and I like the storyline too. I don't know why everybody's so upset with this. Just I liked it that He-Man died in the first episode.
Yeah, I found myself at no point watching it thinking to myself, I need more He-Man. Where's He-Man?
Right.
The story was compelling enough that I enjoyed it. I liked where it was going.
I just wish they did a joke with about Courtney Cox.
Oh my God.
I was waiting for something like that,
Yeah.
Like they would look in like a mirror, and there'd be a mirror universe with.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the Dolph Lundgren He-Man. He didn't make it to the paradise. He didn't make it to paradise.
But no, like I said, it's the big controversies going around. But
the one thing
people.
I know the one thing they did do that I really appreciated is I liked how they made Adam look very different from He-Man.
Yeah.
Because when you go back, you got to understand it was a different time and animation was expensive, But people always complain that it's like, oh, I can't believe anybody didn't recognize that Superman was Clark Kent just because he wore glasses. Mother truckers, Adam was a spitting image of He-Man. He's like this weak, mild guy, but yet he's still like super buff. Oh, don't give me that. Don't give me that. I like that they went in that direction.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that they did in the later animated show, which I will defend that show too. I have the complete series on DVD. I really liked the what was it, like late 90s, early 2000s modernization of He-Man Masters of the Universe. I really liked that one. But I liked that they did that. I liked that they made Adam look like he would, was like a teenage boy,
And we're getting a second season, so we know that's been confirmed. So
yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it. The story was compelling. Getting the old classic geek in me loved that we got more of the history of Castle Grayskull.
Oh yeah, I really did.
That was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That floor thing opened up when they did all that first episode and stuff, when they showed that and everything. I go, hey, that almost makes sense.
Yeah, I love the idea, because Castle Grayskull was always like, it's so iconic, but it's also like when you look at the sorceress, I'm like, she's living in a big skull, man. Like that just seemed kind of weird, but their take on it was brilliant. I love the idea that it was, Central Power, camouflage to look,
Right.
dark and scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. The voice acting was really good in it. I thought everybody did a fine performance, because you know how I am when it comes to voiceover actors. I really liked it. I appreciated it. I thought it was great.
It had that 80s feel to it too.
It did.
Yeah.
And this is like old fashioned geek in me, that the only one small little thing that chuffed me is when Adam held aloft his magic sword and said, when he said, by the power of Grayskull, he said it in his normal voice. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so used to the old cartoon where as soon as he held it up, it had that gravitas to it,
Yeah.
by the power. But it was still just like, by the power of Grayskull. I'm like, no, dude, time out. No, come on, man. Come on. But other than that, Adam looked great. He-Man looked great,
And you said we got a new Transformers too, right?
Yes. We've talked about the Netflix exclusive Transformer miniseries in the past. We're getting the final trilogy just dropped. I just saw it last night. I have been a real big fan of the first 2 seasons of it. The first episode of the 3rd season completely blew me away, because no spoilers. So like I said, I've only seen the first episode, but I will say this: if you're a big fan of Beast Wars, you are in for an awesome treat.
Cool.
Yeah. The animation again was really great, because especially with the Autobots, well, all of them really, they modernized it, but they still had that classic Gen 1 Transformers look to it, like when you looked at Starscream, he has that very classic look to him. They didn't change too much, they just modernized it,
That's
they
cool.
fleshed it out. But they did the same thing with the like Optimus Prime, Ratchet, all of them. The animation style is very cool. And seeing the Predacons and the Maximals in
okay.
in a very polished style, and it really does tie like the Gen 1 stuff that we're used to with the Beast Wars world. The way they're doing it is very well thought out.
Oh, cool.
Because I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a very classic moment where Optimus Prime is confronted by Optimus Primal. And oh yeah, I just watched the first episode last night. Really enjoyed it. I will be finished watching it here really soon. But yeah, if you watch the first 2 seasons, you're gonna love this 3rd season so far. I'm absolutely really digging it.
That's cool. Well, we talked about before we went on there, but another sort of animated thing dropped on HBO Max and came in the theaters.
Yeah, speaking of revisiting old classics, man, talk about Space Jam. Well, I'm gonna come out and say I really enjoyed this movie. It was what it was. It was Space Jam. If you're going into Space Jam expecting Marvel movie quality, no, man, it's Space Jam.
Yeah. Some spoilers here. I mean, it was LeBron James. It was a modern day world, and we went inside like a Matrix universe.
Yeah, but it was a nice modernization of it. Dude, all the I don't want to put cameos, because it was clever the way they did it, because it wasn't like they could actually get the actors, like when they showed Neo in the background, or they showed, Trinity, they couldn't get Carrie Ann Moss. They couldn't get Keanu Reeves, but it was still like you knew who you were looking at.
Well, it was just like Batman Robin looked like the 60s Batman Robin standing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, they went back and pulled classics and stuff because like a Space Ghost was flying around in a sequence, because the whole premise was LeBron had to play his son in a basketball game to save the family, right? I mean, it was very simple. It was down par. The bad program, is that what you want to call it? Tron related sort of,
algorithm.
Yeah. And it was fun. It's probably good for like younger kids to see stuff like this. I thought it was a family made movie.
Oh yeah. My nephew told me that he watched it with his son, my great nephew. He absolutely was like glued to the screen. He loved it. Yeah, the story was great. He gets sucked into the Matrix type world, and he's got to put together a basketball team. But of course, that there's got to be a hitch in it. He gets dropped off into an world. And
well, it even had that Ready Player One feel to it.
Yes, it did. You're absolutely right, Richard. Yes, it did.
It was like, that's what I was getting out of, because a lot of the stuff, because you got to see like Iron Giant standing in the background during that, the one part and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You got to see all these characters, and they were just pulling things left and right,
Yeah, and let's be honest, Richard, some of the stuff they pulled was very questionable. Let's just be honest. Because I know a lot of that stuff was, like a lot of movies, are geared towards kids, but they throw in a lot of Easter eggs for the parents. That scene where they're at the end where they're showing the basketball game, it was literally like they took the catalog of WB properties and just said, yank them all. It was delightful to see like the Animaniacs in the background.
Right.
There was Jabberjaw, there was the Flintstones, there was Pennywise. A child murdering clown, and he wasn't like in the background. Like there were times where he was like behind the bench,
right?
And then they panned over, and it was one of those pause and you miss it moments. But they showed him a couple of times the drugs from Clockwork Orange. Who the hell's idea was it to put the murdering, raping, LSD milk drinking Roddy McDowell crazies in the background? And it was them, people. I know it was them. I know that movie. I paused this one. I'm like, there's no, yep, that's them. Holy shit. King Kong, no problem with King Kong. That was a great little moment.
Yeah.
Even though they referenced Training Day. Okay, I get it for the joke, but I mean, like, still, when he was just like, King Kong ain't got nothing on me, I'm like, the joke worked, but I'm like, damn, people. I was like, really? Seeing Granny as Trinity from the Matrix, that made the movie for me. That was like, I was in full war when they just showed Granny, like she did the Trinity leap, and then
time's on our side as she comes out.
Well, you know what it was, Richard? I think the thing that bothered me was, and we won't go into the politics behind it, but there was a lot of controversy that they pulled Pepe Le Pew from the Looney Tunes roster because, he has a negative connotation. They put Pennywise in.
Right.
A child murdering clown. That they didn't have a problem with. But Pepe Le Pew, no. No, he chases. Okay. Okay. I wasn't there at that meeting, but
But it was fun. It was enjoyable. There was enough for, I'm not we know how I feel about sports. But, I will say, I knew they were going to make the joke, Richard, but I was happy the way they executed it. The Michael Jordan joke.
Oh,
I knew it was coming. I think we all knew it was coming, but they still executed it very well. It's like, here he is, Michael Jordan. Here comes Michael B. Jordan. And I'm like, well done. You did it. We knew you were going to do it. You still pulled it off.
yeah, it was interesting. It was a fun little watch. I watched it this afternoon. I started a couple days ago, then I finished it this afternoon while I was finishing up one of my paintings. So I just had it on and I was kind of watching. I go, wow, this is different,
Yeah. And it was nice that they threw in a couple little Easter eggs to the original movie. We got to see the little versions of the Monstars, and the little, We're speaking of what? Oh my God! Well, I was getting ready to say Danny DeVito. We kind of got to see Danny DeVito because the Penguin from Batman Returns. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even like he wasn't even in the tux or anything. He was like in the sloppy, scary,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's some of the people at Warner Brothers just kind of confuses me.
Yeah.
But again, I enjoyed it for what it was.
It was an entertaining movie. It wasn't written for me and you, Richard. It was written for Space Jam. Wasn't written for people our age right now.
No.
It wasn't for us. I know my great nephew absolutely loved it. He watched it. He was glued to it. He loved it. I enjoyed it. It was
a fun movie. I liked it.
Yeah. And speaking of retrofitting stuff, Bad Batch.
Oh, let's jump right into Bad Batch, man. Oh man,
we're seeing that new history. The end of the Clone Wars, and now we got an Empire. And we got new stormtroopers. And I'm really enjoying this.
I was waiting. They're holding off. I'll give them that. That was a nice touch that they're holding off on it because they didn't actually say the word stormtrooper yet.
Right. Yeah.
But even better, you pointed out what was the moniker of the designations, Richard?
TK.
Yep. And for fans like us that know the movies backwards and forwards, TK. I'm just going to say the classic line: TK421. Why aren't you at your post? Yeah. That I remember. Actors' names from shows I watched 5 minutes ago, nada. Even like when we were talking about Superman and Lois, like the dad, the dad. Can't remember it. TK421, why aren't you at your post? Challenge me. That's the number. And I didn't have to look it up. But no, that was a nice touch.
Yeah. And the music's changing now too.
Yep. If I was a cartoon, you would have seen my ears literally do that perk up because I'm watching it and I'm like, huh? Wait, rewound it. I'm like, they did the march.
Yeah.
They did.
I like this evolvement, and I like how they explain how the clone trooper trainers are not showing them everything.
Yeah.
I thought that was a sweet touch. I go, oh, so that's why they're not as good as the clone troops,
yep.
Because they're not really showing them everything,
Yeah.
And it kind of explains that these people are basically like homeless people in the galaxy that's just signing up for the military. They want, it's just they don't understand that this is what it's going to be. I mean, we're right at the very beginning of the Empire.
Yeah. And for a lot of the outlying systems that aren't on the current news, why would these civilizations, like you said, the Empire is just starting off. Why would they think negatively of it yet?
Right.
They hadn't actually, seen the dominating force that they will become yet.
Right. And that even goes back to A New Hope with like Luke wanting to join.
Yeah.
That really explains a lot of that, because you remember him and Biggs, they were planning on going and joining, but then all of a sudden Biggs wants to join the rebellion, and that gets Luke thinking, you know.
Yeah.
So this is several years later, and we're doing stuff that's happening right at the change, where the troopers are getting, I mean, the clones are starting to be phased out and starting to realize maybe they're in the wrong.
Yeah.
So I really like this, how they're writing this and thinking this through, you know.
And I like how they're explaining why later on in the Star Wars Empire, Return of the Jedi, the later
sequel or the later trilogies, while we never hear too much about the, I'm going to say the word wrong, I can't even blame my teeth for it, the Caminos, the people that made the clones.
The cloners, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We know what we have a very good idea what's going to happen with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's, well, this last episode, we kind of see it off camera, you know, because the leader of their group, you know, probably has been executed.
Yeah.
You know, and the scientists are all gathered up and taken wherever, you know.
Yep. It, like the head guy said, he's like, we did our job too well, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like the one scientist was like, oh well, we can expand our business to other people. Not that the Empire has anything to do with it.
Right.
Oh hell no.
Yeah. And then I'm really surprised that Disney really isn't pushing Bad Batch as much as they are.
Yeah, really.
You know, because like every time I turn on the app, it's not even the top of my feed, and I watch it every week.
Me neither. And the other thing that really got me was so far the only real merchandise, and I mean I hate to say it like this, you know, not like I want, you know, like them to flood the market,
right?
But like so far the only real merchandise I've seen of the Bad Batch is there is a Lego set that is of the Bad Batch in their shuttle. Dude, there is nothing. Go to your toy stores. Get on Amazon. There is like nothing.
Yeah, this week episode on the top screen, you have to scroll all the way through, and it's on the very last one.
Yeah,
and that was even, it just came out yesterday. You know, it's like, come on, Disney, give it a little push. You know. Oh, and we got to see those. I can't think of the name of those dog beast things.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we see them again in the Mandalorian and stuff like that. So you know.
Yeah. Which always amazes me because they live in a society with such great technology. They're still forced to use animals to track. You know.
Yeah.
Like what? They couldn't make a droid that had like olfactory sensors, you know, but no.
Well, they got those one things, don't they? The probe droids.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just must be the Lucas wanting to use animal stuff, you know, because like you saw how Obi-Wan preferred to ride whatever that dragon thing was over a speeder,
right.
You know.
Another nice little scene in Bad Batch this week was we got to see the young clones.
Oh, yeah.
That was a neat little moment because we haven't really, aside from Omega, we really haven't seen too many of the younger generation clones, you know.
Right.
And I've said it before and I'll say it again, you know, I love voice actors, and knowing that D. Bradley Baker does the voice of all the clones, when I saw him coming up, I'm like, oh my God, is he gonna do a young voice? Like, Mr. Sweater. I'm like, yes. They even got him to do those voices, but yeah, man, and talk about a hell of a cliffhanger too, man. Hunter, oh,
and then we got to see Rex for a holo transmitted image, but we got to see more of Rex, and I'm going to say it wrong, Georgie, right? The clone that they rescued.
Oh yeah,
because he's in Rebels. He's with Rex and Rebels. So you kind of knew they had to get him out, but at the same time, you know, you knew something was going to go wrong, you know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we didn't talk about last 2 episodes before that, where we got to see from Rebels, the
young girl.
The pilot of the Ghost, you know.
Yeah.
God, I went blank. Yeah. We got to see her.
See, people, this is us right here. Just watched the show. Can't remember this main character's name who we love and adore, but TK421, right here in the old brain pan, never going away.
But yeah, oh crap, I can't even find it.
But no, seeing her, and I really liked seeing her and her parents, and we're really seeing the ramifications of the Empire with these systems that were relying on the clone army and trusted the clone army, being betrayed by the Empire. We're seeing these systems finding out on their own what the Empire is really all about.
Hera.
Hera, thank you.
Jeez, I went blank. Yeah, I'm really liking what they're doing with Bad Batch in a way, because they're telling stories and filling in little holes and kind of not really retconning, but making it flow better, you know.
Fleshing it out.
Yeah. So I don't know. I hope we see something on where like some of this stuff goes on into some of the live action stuff. You know, whatever is going to happen in the 3rd season, The Mandalorian, or the Book of Fett, right? Isn't that the
yeah?
Yeah.
So,
and then I've heard that before the season wraps up, we're going to get Darth Maul in Bad Batch.
Oh, I hope so. That would be great.
Because it has to do with last week's episode where they ticked off what's his name, and we showed how he got his horn chopped off.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because it was really funny because when he first was on there, you know, his horn got cut off because later on he doesn't have his horn. You know, it is like, yeah, we know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see some of this getting, like you said, fleshed out or told as the stories that we've only heard rumors of.
Yeah. It's no longer speculation. They are laying the foundation.
Yeah, it's basically canon now. So, you know.
Yeah.
And we had other news this week, Doctor Who news.
Oh, man. I don't know how I feel about this. It was released that come 2020 that Jodie Whittaker and Chris Turnbull are going to be stepping down from Doctor Who. Him, I'm all for. I'm gonna flat out and say it. I'm one of those people. Look, I really like Jodie. I thought she was an amazing doctor. She fell victim to bad writing.
Yeah.
Her performances were great. Her character interactions with the companions was great. It was the storytelling that fell short, and that was all Chernbaum, whatever the hell. When I heard he was going, I'm like,
yeah.
But I'm like, no, don't take her with you. No, no,
Well, most of them gets 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's not like the old days when we had Tom Baker for like 20 years, you know. I am very interested to see the direction that they take with the next Doctor. You know, they've opened up the doors to more diversity. I'm just wondering if they're going to fall back, but I'm really disappointed. I really like Jodie, and I really hate to see her go. And I would really, God, give me one season with another writer, you know.
Right. I know this season's even been shortened. It's only going to be 8 episodes again, and it's going to be one story. It's going to be one story. So it'd be like an 8-hour movie. You know, that'd be kind of different to see in Doctor Who.
But the one thing that they did release, though, is we are going to see the return of a classic, one of my all-time favorite Doctor Who villains. We're going to see the Weeping Angels again, buddy. They did release that, and I am super excited for that. I love me some Weeping Angels.
But it's been a up and down week all week. We've been getting a lot of news and a lot of releases, so you know.
Yeah. Before we finish this up, Richard, I do want to mention I have a couple comic books that I wanted to talk about.
Okay, I got a couple myself too. So,
oh, Richard, give me a break for a second. Hit
okay.
it.
Yeah. First off, Ray Kaufman finally has got out his Aurora book 2 Kickstarter. I got it in the mail the other day, and I'm really loving it. I just started reading this and got about halfway through. And Ray, I really do enjoy this. I want to get a shout out to him for getting this done. I know there's been some trouble, but he got it done and got it out, and that's what matters. You know, a Kickstarter needs to be done. You know, and he did his best he could, and I'm really enjoying the story. I know he's working on some animation stuff, so it might look like it's going to animation. And then I'd never have shout out Bloom #2. The Kickstarter for #3 is out right now. Ted is doing this one, and I think it wraps up. Don't think it's tonight. I think it's tomorrow. It wraps up. So go over Kickstarter and look up Bloom. You know, and I love these photo covers. I've gotten both photo covers. So
tell me a little bit about Bloom, Richard. That one I don't know anything about.
It's set back in the 60s. It's a comic book creator that was creating a book, and he hires a she's with a band, and then she does like a photo shoot for him, and they're out there taking photos, and he puts symbols on her and creates this character. And it's I think it's the 3rd episodes in this latest Kickstarter, so you can find out about that. Just go over to Kickstarter and look up Bloom. So
right on. Any more, Rich?
No, that's 2 I have besides my own book. Shout out to Twilight Star.
Yes.
It's Independent Comic Book Day, so I had to get in the spirit of independent comic book.
Oh, you're gonna make me feel like such a tool for my. But look, we all knew this one was coming. I'd been looking forward to this book for a long time. The Blue and the Gold, buddy. The return of Booster Gold and the Blue Beetle. Not only that, but put into the proper hands, Dan Jurgens. Oh my God. I will say here's one complaint that I have, because I'm open-minded about everything. The one complaint that I have is the book was brilliant. I loved it. It was classic. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, they're best buddies. They are the buddy cops. The only thing that tweaked me a little bit, Richard, is because I love Booster Gold so much, you know, I've seen a lot of his character development. Like through 52 was fantastic. His solo book Booster Gold was great because he was the greatest hero you never heard of. They really fleshed him out to be, in the public eye, he was still a little bit of a douchebag. But behind the scenes, you know, he was all business. We're seeing a little bit more of a return to the self-grandizing, publicity-loving Booster Gold. Booster Gold has discovered social media. Run with that. But it was really good. I really enjoyed this. I love seeing Booster Gold in a Instagram, TikTok, you know, universe. You know, like, hey, it's your boy Booster getting ready to, you know. But it was a great. The first issue was great. We got to see classic John Michael Carter and Ted Kord, the underdogs. You know, that nobody, you know. That was great because he's live streaming everything. And like big sell out, you know, people reacting to him like you believe they would. At the end of the day, they really do save the day and still don't really get any credit for it. You know, we get to see what the Justice League really thinks of Booster Gold because they're like, no, we
want you, Blue Beetle. Booster's still kind of a douche. You know, they still don't take him seriously. But having Dan Jurgens, who is a creator of Booster Gold, I can't think of anybody I would rather have helming that. The other one that I was really excited about, I was a little iffy on it when I first heard about it, but the first issue of Superman, Son of Kal-El.
Oh, okay.
I really liked it. I was skeptical about it. I love the character of Jonathan Kent. Him and Damian Wayne are two of my favorite characters together. We still get challenges of the Super Son. At least DC is still throwing us that bone, showing them as kids. I wasn't the biggest fan of them aging up John, but this was really good. The first issue, we don't get logged down with a lot of backstory. The first few pages are just like a retelling of John's birth. You know, Lois and Clark and Lois, and the entire Justice League is hailing a crisis so he can be there with Lois. We see his birth. We get to see Jonathan Kent really stepping up and becoming Superman. And I was really happy to see that the character interactions between Jonathan and Damian Wayne is still there. The two of them are still best buds. You know, even Damian kind of makes a joke about it. It's like, you need other friends. You know, Damian being Damian, like, you need other friends. Jonathan, their approach to Jonathan impressed me so much in this book. He is truly Clark Kent's son. I like the way they're handling him. I love the suit. I love that suit on him. I really recommend this one. I recommend it to people. It is a really great starting off point. You can pick up Superman, Son of Kal-El if you haven't picked up a Superman book in years. Actually, I would really recommend it. I really like the direction they're taking with me. Really enjoyed it. I did. I was skeptical about it just because I love my little teenage blue jean, torn jean, you know, Jonathan Kent. But I really did. I really did like that book.
Cool.
So,
Oh, and I also, speaking of comics, big shout out to the Laughing Ogre in Columbus, Ohio.
yes.
They're the Eisner winner this year, making the third comic book store in the Columbus area to win. So that's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah.
This is the Eisner award, and anybody knows that I had a little help in making the video for them. So
Yeah.
I felt like it was really cool that they won and stuff, you know. So
Because for those that don't know, this isn't an Ohio-based award.
no, this is an international award from the San Diego Comic Con. This is who puts this on through the Eisner Foundation. So
Yep. Yeah.
So big shout out to them for winning this year's. So, you know, this makes them the for a year the greatest comic book shop in the world for this year.
Yep. And rightly so. Great store. Yeah, yeah. Oh, hey, real quick, shout out, speaking of comic book stores, a friendly reminder that Free Comic Book Day is still on this year.
Right.
It will be the weekend of August the 14th.
Yes, correct.
The second Saturday in August.
Right.
So for those of you who really were disappointed that because of COVID and everything, and rightly so, we were still a little bit early. That Free Comic Book Day, which normally took place the first weekend in May,
right,
didn't get canceled, got postponed. A lot of the comic book stores that I frequent, you know, Alter Ego in Lima, Laughing Ogre, Pack Rat, August 14th. If you really bummed about missing Free Comic Book Day, hey, you didn't miss it. It just got postponed. So August 14th, look up your local comic book store to see what's in store. I know as of right now, I'm going to be at Alter Ego Comic Books doing my Heroes thing. I haven't quite decided yet, Richard, which costume I'm going to do because it's August, people. You know, May. Okay, granted, this May was ridiculously hot, but in August, so you may or may not see Ant-Man, just depending on what the weather is. But yeah, look up your local comic book store to see. Most stores are already advertising it, what they have planned. Yeah, Free Comic Book Day, August 14th.
Yep.
So anything, Rich, you got anything else?
No, that's about everything that went on in geek culture for the last couple weeks. Comic cons are back.
Yeah.
Jim and Dan show is going to be August the 8th. So that's the next one in our area that we kind of regularly goes to. So,
Yeah.
That's like next weekend. So,
Yeah.
so it's nice to starting to see people again. That was the best part of Gem City, was get to see people. So I know Mike couldn't make it, so I don't want to pressure him, but it to me, it was just, that was the best part of getting back out there. So, but the only bad thing is, the Delta variant's running around, so who knows what's going to happen within a couple of months.
Yeah.
It might just get as bad as what it was last year. Who knows?
So, with that, on behalf of myself, Mike Boroff, and Richard Catterjohn, Rich, where can they find everything? Where can they see this? Where can they see this at, Richard? Look at that! Look at that smile.
Let's see. I got it right here. Go to undergroundvideonetwork.com. That's our main website. You can find our UVN Plus video archive there. Watch all our episodes, all 830 some episodes that we filmed over the years. Or you can just go to all the socials. The linkage is there. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're sometimes on Twitter. Not as much as we used to be, but we have a Twitter account. But go wherever you can. Watch our episodes. Watch old episodes. If you've been on an episode, rewatch yourself. Haven't been really sharing too much of the old stuff, but just go to undergroundvideonetwork.com.
So, on behalf of myself, Mike Orp, and Richard Catterjohn, we hope everyone is staying safe and staying healthy. And I really hope I get to see you at a con soon. I'm so sorry again. I had the opportunity and I missed it. But we hope everybody's taking care of themselves. And we hope to see you at a con, a comic book store, or even Free Comic Book Day. So if you would kindly, Richard, press the button.